How's it going, rednecks? In this video we're going to be going over diesel heaters and what I think or feel about them. So what do you say we get started and show you what a diesel heater is and what all comes with it? If you're not aware what a diesel heater is, you must live under a rock, because these things, I swear, are everywhere. And all it is exactly what the name says. It is a heater that produces heat by burning diesel. So you have an intake, an exhaust, a chamber inside here that a combustion happens because diesel is pumped into that chamber, heated up, and then you got an inlet and an outlet. So this unit right here is a diesel heater. It is simply that, all in a nice compact little kit. You got your intake on this end over here, and it exhausts your heat, and then your combustion chamber exhaust and intake, just like this, are underneath, and then up top is your tank for your diesel. Everything that comes with this is right here. You have a ductwork that you can slide over here, so you can kind of aim your heat where you want it. You have your exhaust pipe right here, as well as a muffler with some heat shrink or some fiberglass heat shroud to protect the elements or anything that's going to be next to your hot exhaust. This is your intake tube for your combustion. This is an air filter for your combustion. You got a bunch of miscellaneous hose clamps and brackets to do your exhaust up with. And then a owner's manual. Unfortunately, this is not going to be an install video because I already have one, and it's right up here. This is my buddy's diesel heater that he let me borrow because I wanted to see if I was interested at all, or if I would be interested at all in running one in my garage. His is a little bit more of an expensive unit, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same thing. It has your tube for your outgoing heat, the intake's over there, and then I have my combustion air just simply running down and out through the wall. Since I have both heaters here, I figured I'm going to compare the two, and I'm going to take notes. What we're going to do is we are going to take temperatures with my temp gun here of the max temperature output for your heat, the startup time, the shutdown time, and I figured I'd throw exhaust temps in there. So I'm just calling his the red one for $150, and then I got my Vevor on sale for $80. Now I know some of you are going to be interested, is this one louder or is this one louder? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you guys both while I'm running the test on that camera, and I'll just kind of flip-flop back and forth between the two heaters in the video so you guys can kind of see from the same distance away what they sound like. So without boring you anymore, what do you say we get his red one fired up, I get a timer started, I get you guys set up, and we see how long that thing takes to start, what kind of temperatures it's outputting, and how long it takes to stop. To quickly show you, the heater has not been ran. That's me touching the element, and this is me touching the exhaust. So here we go. I'm not going to show the counter the whole time, but I'm going to show you me starting it. We'll start the counter and start the unit. Alright, it's blowing right now. We'll catch back up with you guys when it's at full tilt. So there we go, it is running at full speed, and as you can see, we're at 4 minutes and 14 seconds. So I'm going to let this thing run at full speed for 5 minutes. We're going to do a temperature check of the output of our heat as well as our exhaust. So while it's on full speed and I'm waiting for it to heat up so I can do a temperature check, I figured I'd give you an idea or show you kind of how loud it is. The ticking of the fuel pump isn't bad. I think the blower motor is a little bit more annoying, but it's easily tolerable. And as you can see, we're having a pretty easy conversation in here. So once we hit 5 minutes, we'll take a check of the heat. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run it on low speed or low setting. And then we'll wait 5 minutes and do another check so we have a high and a low temperature. All right, it's been running for 5 minutes. So let's take a temperature reading. Looks like we're getting around 380. That one is 408. There we go. Let's see here if you take a look. 294 at the outgoing tip of the exhaust. So that's it on high. We are now going to knock this thing down to the lowest setting. So I'll kind of once again show you the noise output on low. And the ticking is definitely more noticeable, but it's quiet. It's really quiet actually at low. So yeah, we'll do, like I said, we'll wait 5 minutes and we'll get back with you. All right, it's been running on low for 5 minutes. So let's take a temperature reading now. We got a maximum of 292. Let's take a temperature reading of the exhaust, and we're at about 218 on that. Figured I'd bring you outside. And this is our exhaust. So let's get our temperature reading of that. We're at 209. All right, with it now running on low for the 5 minutes, and we got all of our temperature readings, I'm going to hit the off button on it, and then I'm going to start my stopwatch, and we're going to see how long this thing takes to fire down or to turn off. So here we go. Off, and then start. Well, that's kind of interesting. It is done running, it's fully cooled down, and it took 4 minutes and 14 seconds. So the same amount of time to start it takes to stop. So now I'm going to get that thing down. We're going to take the Vevor, we're going to set that one next to it. We're going to pop the casings off, kind of show the difference between the two, and then we got to try and get that one up there. So here's your two heaters side by side. This is the red one, and this is the Vevor. The biggest difference I see, obviously the tanks are the same, heating elements and everything are in the same spot. The biggest difference I see is this one has terminals on the back for your power, so you got 12 volt ground and 12 volt power, where this one just has wires coming out of it. The screens are a little bit different. This one has kind of a sleeker screen. This one's a little bit more boxy with less buttons on it, so not that big of a deal. The pumps are located in pretty much the same orientation as well, so not much of a difference between the two. And there they are, side by side, fully put back together. So now it's time to get that guy up there. There we go. I have the Vevor up there, and we're going to do the same testing. So I'm going to do this a little bit more quickly. I will still get with you guys once I get numbers or when I'm taking my temps and everything. So here we go. Let's get that thing fired up and get it into the hottest setting. So before I start it, I'm going to show you heat element. Grabbing the exhaust. We're going to hit start. Start heating. We're going to hit start. Well, this one's a little bit harder to tell if it's at full tilt because the red one had a little meter on it that would load up and then it would show where it was at. This one doesn't have anything, so I had to go off of sound, and off of my own ears, I would say at 3 minutes and 35 seconds, this thing was fully fired up. Although it did make a little bit of a racket or more of a pulsing noise, somewhere around 2 minute mark. So I'm going to go outside because I haven't shown you how loud the exhaust is yet. Well, this thing's warming up, and then we'll do our temperature check. So to show you how loud it is outside, that is the exhaust right there. I would say I'm about 15 feet away. So we'll kind of walk a little bit further, and I don't have the muffler on it that comes with it because I don't think it's really necessary. You start getting to just about to where my house edge is. So we're a little bit of ways away, and you can barely hear that thing. Yeah, it's cold out here. I'm going to get back inside. Alright, we're back, and we are going to take a temperature check, and we have a high of 330. Our exhaust temp at the bend, 347. So that's at the bend. Our exhaust temps, we got 290. Alright, it's been running for 5 minutes on low, 245. Then the exhaust bend, we're at 208. And then our exhaust tip, 234. Alright, it's been running for 5 minutes on low now, so we're going to hit off and start our timer. So there we go. See how long it takes to shut down.
Thanks for using. I wish you a safe journey.
Well, with the testing of that one all done, we can come over to the sheet and we can compare the two. So on high for the red one, we were getting about 380 degrees out of our output, and the Vevor was only 330, so there was a 50 degrees difference in Fahrenheit. And then on low, the red one was getting 292, where the Vevor was getting 245, which is about 47, so still 50. So the difference between the two is 50 degrees. You can look at the rest of this information if you want. Pretty much the Vevor started in a minute faster time, but took a little bit over or pretty much a minute more to shut down, and then the exhaust temps and everything. And then the same thing on startup, the pump didn't start until 1 minute and 20 seconds. So that means the glow plug probably ran for about a minute, and then the pump started. So with the testing of the red one done, and the testing of the orange one done, I want to show you what I'm using to power them up. Obviously you can use a car battery, but I went a little bit of a different route. So to get started, this is actually the one that my buddy let me borrow when he gave me his red one to use, and it is a Power Max that puts out 35 amps, and I believe this is a battery tender. I can link this in the description down below, as well as both the heaters, but I decided to try something different. I modified this 135 watt computer power supply that's for a server. So I hooked the green start stop switch up there. Then here's my power outputs. And as soon as I started the heater up, it started the glow plug, and this thing failed. It didn't output enough power. The diesel heater shut down and wouldn't continue. So then I moved on to this. This is a 200 watt computer power supply. All you do, ground out the green wire, hook up your yellow and black, so black is ground, yellow is power. Same thing, as soon as glow plug started, this one failed. Now I read online, these things only need 100 watts, so I was surprised when I moved up to this guy. This is a 250 watt, and as you can see, grounded out the green wire. Here's my two connectors for the 12 volt power out. Same thing, as soon as the injector started up, this thing failed. So then I thought I'd get lucky. I found this guy in my closet. This is a 4.5 amp AC to DC inverter, and same thing. As soon as the injector started up, this thing could not produce enough power, and that thing just shut down. Then we move on to the winner. This is out of my parents' old computer. This is a Corsair 650 watt, and yeah, I'm just using the switch to turn it on and off, and I grounded the green wire internally, cut all the wires off, because this thing works perfect. So here's the inside of the power supply I ended up using, and this is everything I cut off. So this end right here, and for the most part this is kind of a modular one, but all I really needed were the yellow and black wires, and the black are ground, yellow is power, and then you need this green wire, and you can either ground it to case or ground it to one of the black wires. So that's all you need to do. And then yeah, here's all my wires capped off that I cut. So let me get that cover put back on, and then we'll get back to it. And by perfect, I mean it would power both that one and the Vevor on startup, and this thing never even flinched. So there you go. This is a cheap alternative, because you can buy these used on the marketplace. I was finding them for about $40 to $60. For this guy right here, that's going to cost you around $150 to $180, I believe. There's my power supply is right there next to it. There's the Vevor with the exhaust running through right to the outside. I figured this video wouldn't be complete without a test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire that thing up and let it run for 3 hours. My garage is 21 feet by 18 and a half feet, and it's fully insulated other than this wall right here. So I have an insulated door, insulated garage door. All my walls are insulated, as well as my ceiling, so everything's fully insulated. It's currently 22 degrees outside, and if you take a look, inside my garage is 35 and a half degrees. I have the diesel tank completely filled up. As you can see, the screen is off. We're going to power up my power supply. The screen's going to come on, and it shows the time, so you'll be able to see that it ran it for 3 hours. The time is currently 6:07, so let's hit the start button, and I will see you guys in 3 hours with the results. Well, it's been running just over 3 hours. It is right now 9:12, and as you can see on the display, been running for 3 hours and 5 minutes. And the temperature in here, 45.5. Looking at how much fuel is left, I would say that it used up about a quarter of the tank, considering it goes past that sight glass. So now I'm going to turn on my furnace and I'm going to show you how fast this heats up the garage just in comparison. So right now the furnace is turning on and it is about 9:18 and the temperature in here is 46 degrees. So I'm going to get back with you guys once it's 65 in here and I'm going to see how long that takes. Furnace is currently running, blowing nice and warm. Obviously with that below it, it's going to get hot, so we're going to move that guy more central. Well, here we are after about 29 minutes. We are sitting at 65 degrees. So about half an hour and I can have it 60 degrees in here with that furnace up above my head. I guess the main thing everybody wants to know is that worth it or is it for me? And I guess that all depends on your situation. I love having my house furnace, being able to get it to 65 here in about half an hour and then firing that thing up and having it just maintain the temperature. On its own, that thing would take the chill out of the air, but I don't think it would be enough. But for the price of propane versus the price of diesel, these guys definitely win. If you're not in a time crunch for heat and you don't care how fast it happens, that might be your option. But for me, the two of them together is the perfect combination. Keep in mind, the Vevor did not perform as well as the red one, so depending on your budget, you might want to get the red one. Hopefully all the information on diesel heaters and power supplies that I shared in this video will help you make an educated decision on whether diesel heaters are right for you. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and get back to work. Yeah, it's pretty nice out in the garage, isn't it? Yeah. By the way, just doing my outro, we're at 70 degrees. I think we need to shut this guy off. Chunk. Even though these three couldn't run a diesel heater, I'm sure I'll still have a use for a 12-volt power supply somewhere. Just to give you an example, this is ran by a 12-volt power supply.